Hello and welcome. This is Not Just Making the Tea, the podcast which discusses the realities of our career and life choices whilst made at school and college. It celebrates the parts that haven't gone to plan as much as those which have. With every chat, we plan to explore what life skills are there to be learnt and how they can influence and help us to succeed. I'm your host, Rachel Price, founder of Imali.com, the career website for young adults. Firstly, I want to say thank you for taking the time out to listen to the podcast. I hope that you enjoy the experience and that you continue to join me and my future guests on our journey. I truly appreciate anyone who takes the time to listen, and please do send me any kind of feedback. So, we're currently living in very unusual times, and the world has been turned upside down, and who knows what the future will bring. I considered if this was the right time to start the podcast series, and decided that even though there was not much sense in our world at present, maybe I could help by providing some advice and guidance through these episodes. If there are any specific topics you want to hear covered, please do message me and I'll see what I can do. I hope that you find these chats entertaining, fun, thought-provoking, and hopefully they will give you some good, positive vibes in your day-to-day. So on that note, let's get started with today's topic. Planning your day, week and month, and the real need to get organised. Good planning will help you meet your goals and lower your stress levels. It helps you avoid distractions whilst also reinforcing your sense of purpose and identifying unrealistic demands and conflicts with tasks and timings early on. This allows you to ask others for assistance before you get completely overwhelmed. I realise that most of these tips are for when you're using your own personal time for work and study, rather than your day-to-day timetable, as this is set generally by your school or college. However, you may find that you have free periods during your day, and you'll need to plan how to use these periods. It is important to remember that time is the one thing that you cannot get back, so here is your opportunity to use it wisely. When planning your work or study day, it is better to do it the night before. Write down all the tasks you need to accomplish, and then prioritise the most important tasks you need to complete the next day. Stick to just 5 tasks. If you can, then create a visual hour-by-hour plan of what you will do to get these tasks done. If it is not possible to do this the night before, do this when you arrive at school or college the next morning. This is known as the Ivy Lee method. Then at the end of your day, plan for the next one. Getting into a routine will help you immensely. According to personal development expert Brian Tracy, planning can save you between 100 and 120 minutes of wasted time throughout the day. Think of what you could do with all that extra time. However, I suggest that you always allow some buffer time between tasks in case you need extra time to complete a task, and also to schedule in time for breaks and lunch. Plan for your hardest tasks in the morning when your energy levels and your general motivation will be higher, and check in with yourself every hour and ask yourself if you're on track. Honestly, if you're not, reschedule the upcoming tasks and timings as necessary. When planning your week, do it on a Saturday night. You may not want to think about your studies or work during the weekend, but planning usually takes less than an hour and can save you a lot of hassle at a later date. Start by reviewing your previous week. If you have any outstanding tasks, decide if these need to be taken forward or can be dropped completely. Next, make a big list of all the tasks that you need to complete in the upcoming week, and then rank them in order. Decide if the task is urgent, i.e. the deadline for submission is imminent, important, the deadline for submission is soon but you still have some time, both or neither, and then a plan accordingly. This is known as the Eisenhower matrix technique. If you're not sure where to start by looking at all the tasks you need to complete by a certain deadline. If a task doesn't have a deadline, set one. Deadlines hold you accountable and give you a useful timeline for breaking down tasks into smaller chunks, which can then be spread out of days and weeks. Remember to take into account the complexity of the task and the time it's taken you to do something similar in the past. The final step is to transfer this into a calendar. Assign each task a day and decide if you will do it in the morning, afternoon or evening. However, the weekly plan is just the starting point, and you are likely to still need to plan your day-to-days on an individual basis. This depends upon your progress and whether unforeseen events cropped up. You can use a similar principle when planning your month, just apply them on a broader scale. Start by thinking about the big projects, coursework, presentation, exam revision and the such like, and write down all the deadlines that you need to meet. Then work backwards by thinking about all of the different steps you need to take in order for you to successfully achieve your goals, and how long each step will take you. Block these out on a calendar. I'll talk more about calendars later. Getting into the habit of planning your month several days before the beginning of the new month is a great way for success. Once you have a planning routine, you'll get into the habit of becoming much more organised. Don't forget to schedule in your monthly tasks, such as termly assessments or meetings with your guidance counsellor or tutor. When planning your month, don't try to plan each day in detail. Not only will it take too long, but there are likely to be changes along the way, and then you'll just have wasted your time. Consider your monthly plan as a bird's eye view of your current tasks and goal. Ideally, mark one day a week or one weekend every month as totally empty to be used however you wish. On the note of calendars, you could use a traditional diary when planning, or you could experiment with a variety of apps. For example, you could use Workflow, Google Calendar, or even Fantastical 2 to help you plan your day, week and month. Why not try both approaches and see what works for you? In time, you'll discover a system which helps you stay consistently productive and organised. So that's our topic for today, folks. Hope you found some points of use and interest. For more information on how to plan your day, week and month, and different apps which you could use, please go to amali.com and check out the Success Skills 101 resources within the Learning Hub. My hope is to upload at least one episode each week, but in the meantime, please do go to amali.com, subscribe for updates and activities on topics aimed to help us all become more successful. Thank you once again for listening, keep safe, and smile always.